Okay, so welcome to the Windsurf deep dive video brought to you by myself, Thomas, Jay, and Declan. So today I'll be going through what is Windsurf, key features, target audience and skill level, pricing and accessibility. And towards the end of the presentation, I'll be coming back going through a video demonstration on getting started, use of resources and materials, and contact information. So what is Windsurf? Windsurf is an AI-powered IDE developed by Codium that is designed to enhance developer productivity by reducing the need for manual coding, file editing, and debugging. By leveraging AI, it streamlines development workflows and boosts efficiency. Windsurf positions itself as a middle ground between limited functionality of basic copilots and the independence of agents, offering the benefits of AI assistance while keeping the control in the developer's hands. Some key features include AI-powered code completion, seamless integration with VS Code, super complete, a feature that predicts your next coding steps, multi-file editing and creation, making it easier to handle complex projects with multiple files, terminal command suggestions and execution, and of course, Windsurf's in-editor chat assistant Cascade, which is a central hub for all of these features. So Windsurf is beginner friendly while also having advanced features for experienced developers. Since it is a fork of VS Code, its familiar environment makes it easy for developers to transition into and adapt quickly. Beginners can take advantage of code suggestions, explanations, and debugging to assist in learning and development. On the other hand, more experienced developers can get the most out of the tools available for more efficient handling of complex projects. So pricing and accessibility. Windsurf has two separate categories for its pricing and usage. For individuals, there's the free, pro, and ultimate plans, each with varying numbers of credits and prompts and flow actions. Flow actions refer to the automated steps or tasks in the development environment. The team plans offer essentially the same features as the individual plans, with a focus on organizational analytics to measure usage and performance, and also credit pooling. The pay plans give access to more premium models like Claude, GPT-4, and DeepSeek, which are a lot better than what you get with the free plan.
So now that we've talked a bit about Windsurf, let us do a live demonstration. So this is the UI of Windsurf. We have our AI over here, and we have our project over here, and our folders and files. It creates a Cascade Projects folder for you when you download Windsurf, but you can drag another photo if you want, so you don't have to use this one. We're going to use this one for this example though. So let us create something with the AI. So what we're going to do, we're going to create a quick project. Now the project isn't too important. It's basically just like an auto card battler that I quickly came up with. But what we do need to know is I've asked it to create a base folder, and then I've asked it to create a subfolder called cards. And in the base folder, we're going to create a cards class, and in the cards folder, we're going to have individual card classes. So basically, they're going to inherit from the card.cs file. So what we're going to do, we're going to just send this and see what Windsurf does, how it does this. So you can see that it goes through very slowly. I mean, not very slowly, but it, does it kind of step by step. And it gives you suggested terminal commands. So if it's something comes up and you don't want it to do that, you can always reject it. If it's asking to do something that you didn't really want, it's maybe misunderstood you. But in this case, we do want a directory called Auto Card Battler. And we see we can, when it comes up, it always asks you to keep changes or discard. So similar to the terminal thing, if it comes up with something that you didn't really want, you can just choose not to keep the changes. But in this case, this is fine. And these things are important because if we go to our Cascade usage up here, you can see that we have user prompt credits. These are credits that are used when you do something like this. And if you use prompts, if you use multiple prompts within the same conversation, it still uses these. But then you have these flow actions. And the flow action credits are used by these things, right? So as you can see, you have 114 used, and it's used a couple of these. I don't remember if it changes in real time. It doesn't seem to. But if we go here, you'll see that it's now 117. So it's using one each time it does one of these. And this does mean that if you sort of decide, you know what, I'm going to kind of get around the system of credits by making sure that I use, I get the most out of one prompt, doesn't actually really work like that, because these flow credits basically mean that no matter whether you do short prompts that do a little bit or big long prompts, you're going to get about the same amount of work done. And we can see if we go here, the format that we've asked it to do, so it's got its main sort of classes out here. It's got the classes in here that we wanted, so we wanted it to create some individual cards, which it has done. So it is it's setting up as we wanted. So we can read the README and we can see project structure. So it just gives us a nice overline. So we can see ability. So it's decided to give battle rage to a berserker. So when it enters battle, it gets +10 attack. Vampire, every time it attacks, it heals for 25% damage. Reflects 30% of received damage back to attacker. This is for the Thorn Skin, and it's just, given different abilities. And then we can see after it's done all that, it says we can build it. Okay, so it's just going to give us a quick thingy. So we've got the tutorial, so make sure that you have .NET. So, I mean, kind of similar to the README, but can always ask it to put certain stuff in if you want. So that's awesome, so we'll keep that change. So I just quickly ran the project. I did ask it to update to .NET 8, as I don't actually have .NET 6, but as we can see, I've just ran it. It has a couple of these problems which you can ask it to fix, and it's working as intended. It goes through all of the turns, does the things, the abilities are working fine. So yeah, it's working as intended. A neat thing about Windsurf is that because it uses things like Claude and GPT and whatnot, it's able to use a wide variety of different languages. So for another demonstration, we're going to quickly make a HTML website of the for the Innovate company. So it's created a website just from that prompt. I have made it change the logo. It made its own one. I made it use our one, but other than that, this is just from the one prompt. And we can see it's created an About Me section and a regular homepage that's called Index, as well as a README like before. And in Windsurf, you can actually preview websites just in the Windsurf thing, which is pretty cool. And so we can see the website that is created. So this is the homepage. You can do read more about us is the About Us page, and it's got 2 phases and it's got the information. So it's able to use HTML as well. One last thing is that Windsurf is really nice for setting out projects and sort of organizing stuff. So we're going to ask it to quickly move the HTML files into its own folder. So we can see it has made a new pages folder and put the 2 websites in there. And if we go to the Windsurf preview, refresh it, we can see that it still works. So all of these have been updated to account for the new project structure. You can see the new project structure in the README, for example.
Hey everyone, I'm Jay, and I'm going to go through the Windsurf strengths and weaknesses. So we can start off right here. Strength 1 has got advanced project management. So on the left, we've got asking it to build a simple radio app, and it gets multiple files, and it knows what should go in each of those files. It has very detailed insights into what it's doing. It's very flexible across multiple programming languages as well. So you can also see at the bottom, it's installing dependencies, which we'll touch on in the next strength here. Strength 2 is autonomous error resolution. So it knows what dependencies your project needs, and it reduces the manual intervention from the user, and obviously increases the overall development efficiency. You can see on the left here, we've just asked it to make some improvements, and it just can automatically do that. You don't have to specify anything. It'll just make the app better, and then it tells you what it did. So for this one, it added better filtering for HTTPS streams for the radio app. So strength 3 is contextual code understanding, and you can see on the left here, we've just asked it to tell us about these files, and it has a very deep contextual awareness with all your files, especially with large projects where I think it's really excels. So obviously this maintains code consistency, and it knows where all the classes are for each file. Constraints of Windsurf, I'd say mainly the base model problems for the free version. The base model is not very good at all compared to the paid versions where you can use Claude 3.7 Sonnet and DeepSeek and GPT, stuff like that. The base model requires very specific prompts, and even then, it can run into a lot of errors that the other ones just don't. So the cost considerations are, the plans can be expensive. We'll go through that in the next slide. And there's multiple credit types as well. So we've got a free plan, $15 a month, $60 a month, and obviously you only get limited credits for those, so you might even have to pay more for those credits. On the right, I've asked the Cascade base model to make add some features to my snake game, and it just was very confident in what it did, but it didn't work at all, crashed instantly. The operational challenges for this is sometimes you get terminal command difficulties, so sometimes it will give you a command that it's going to automatically run, and it just doesn't work, which is okay. We can run it ourselves and just reprompt it to continue. It has some framework compatibility problems, but that could have just been my specific project. Obviously, this has potential workflow interruptions, but it's nothing crazy. The competitive landscape I'll go through quickly. We've got a couple tools: Cursor, GitHub Copilot, and Klein. So Cursor is really similar to Windsurf in that it's also a fork of VS Code. Lots of pros and cons there. GitHub Copilot is a VS Code extension, really good with understanding what you're going to write next. It was pretty cool. Klein, open source agent. It has a much higher cost. And conclusion, so the strengths of Windsurf: project management, error resolution, contextual understanding, and it's good to consider specific prompt requirements, whether you want to use ChatGPT to write a more detailed prompt and then go from there. Consider additional costs with premium plans or framework compatibility, and I recommend to evaluate based on a specific project based on your budget constraints. Thank you.
Next, we have the best use cases for the Windsurf AI code editor. We'll be looking at the optimal project type and scenarios, the types of users who benefit from it, and examples of real-world applications for using Windsurf. To start, Windsurf supports basic to advanced projects across the board due to the tooling capabilities it provides. It benefits the most when using the paid premium models, as they are considerably more capable, especially in larger projects. Windsurf excels at multi-file projects and scenarios. Its tooling capabilities and its agentic step-by-step allows it to investigate many files within the codebase to solve your question or statement that you've asked. Windsurf also provides additional tooling to the models that allows it to run commands through bash or batch for the user. Particularly in this case, it can use git commands, which allows a variety of capabilities in version history, like reading past commits, creating commits, rebasing, and creating pull requests. It can also compile and or run codebases by utilizing applications like npm, node, python, cmake, and so on, depending on the nature of the project. Finally, it has the general capability of producing sub-actions from more broad actions based on the prompt. An example is that it can take a prompt about creating a game, turn that into creating codebase files, installing necessary packages, and finally running the game with the permission of the user. Developers primarily benefit the most from using Windsurf, however it can still be used by a general user. Users that have coding skills can realize when the AI model is stuck in endless repeating loops for scenarios like fixing errors, and allows them to prompt the model to get unstuck from these loops. Having experience with prompting can also be greatly beneficial. You can prompt it to be specific, especially when you provide more information about what you're wanting it to create, edit, or summarize. Having prompting skills would allow you to get more creative, correct, and specialized responses. Windsurf is primarily oriented towards developers, but since large language models are used in the background, non-developers can still use it to an extent. For example, they can ask questions about the code, they can summarize pieces or entire parts of the code, and they can apply specific edits. Some useful real-world applications, especially in learning, can be creating RESTful APIs in different languages like Python and JavaScript, so web APIs with get, post, put, and delete requests. Create and edit a variety of applications for support of many languages as well. Designing and implementing AI models based on your requirements. Additional knowledge and experience can greatly improve this. And as mentioned before, summarizing parts of codebases and creating documentation within codebases, and of course creating games.
Alright, to get started with Windsurf, it's pretty simple. Just head onto the Codium website and to the download page. As you can see, it's available on pretty much every platform. And I'm on Mac, so I'll download for Mac. But since I've already have it installed, I won't be doing that. Yes, and once you open it up, it will take you to what looks like VS Code, which is pretty much, just VS Code with the Cascade chat assistant right here. So it's pretty simple. Okay, now into some useful resources and learning materials. On the left here, we have the official documentation from Codium, which have just about all the information you need to understand how features work. Their Reddit page, which is probably the best place for anything regarding updates or just anything new in general. And then this article from DataCamp, which is another good summary on everything to do with Windsurf and the basic features. On the right side, we have just some YouTube tutorials on getting started with Windsurf, and also some comparisons with Cursor as well, which are really nice. And we also have the official YouTube page from Codium. All right, that brings us to the end of the presentation. If you need any support with Windsurf, you can contact them here at their email or on the website, or you can feel free to shoot me a message on Teams or anyone else in this group. All right, thank you.